begins about 20 minutes down the road. I grew up in a small town of Center Hall. I was raised in a church. My family did a great job of bringing me in, meeting the Lord and bringing me in through Sunday schools and youth groups. And I learned at a young age how important God is. I had an extreme love for sports. I attended Penns Valley High School, and I was a four-sport athlete. And if someone would ask me what my favorite sport was, I couldn't choose. I loved them all, but I knew as a little girl that I wanted to play at Penn State, play a sport at Penn State. I had that dream. I went to Penn State freshman year. I walked on to the Penn State softball team and worked myself into becoming a starter, which was a dream come true. Being a starter for the Division I softball team was amazing and something that I'll forever hold close to my heart. That year was amazing. It was awesome. We ended a great season. I started working on the Penn State grounds crew, and that's when, the story kind of changes a little bit. And I went over there, got my blood work done, and went home, and we got the phone call. June 4th, 2004, it was approximately 4:30 in the afternoon. They were pretty sure that I had leukemia. And I related cancer to death because my mom's only brother, younger brother, died of leukemia when I was younger. So that was about the only time that I really cried, because from that moment forward, I saw a different light. And, my father looked at me and he said, "Kari Ann, what are we going to do to beat this?" And I said, "There's no choice. I have so much left to do. This is not the end, and I'm going to fight this, more than I've ever fought anything in my life." I headed down to Hershey that afternoon with my mom and dad, and that probably was the longest hour-and-a-half drive of my life. Reflecting back on things I've done, things I haven't done, just being thankful for family. And I think looking back, that was my game plan. That was as a coach planning for a season, that hour and a half was how I planned to beat cancer. And I got down there and nothing was going right. They had all my paperwork was supposed to be faxed down there from the hospital, and it wasn't. The type of cancer I had, it was crucial that I got treatments quickly because it was so rapid. The cancer cells were just constantly recruiting, and the quicker that I got treatment started, the better. And it was just a long wait. We finally got in, and I didn't believe it. I refused to believe that I had cancer. I refused to believe it. I was in the hospital for 6 months, from June to October. I think that's 6 months. I was in the hospital for a total of 90 days. I had 100 surgeries. I had a tube in my chest. I was like a lab rat, poked at, prodded at all the time, but I just kind of took everything day to day, and I leaned on God, and I'm so blessed to have that experience. I'm so blessed to have felt God's presence, and it's hard now because I look back at that time and everything was so pure and innocent and just simple. And I was fighting cancer, but it was more simple then than it is now, getting thrown back into society. Then in my, when I was fighting a battle, I had one goal, and it was to live. Facing death at 19 was extremely hard. Losing hair at 19 was extremely hard, but cancer couldn't take my heart, and it couldn't take my fight. And that's one thing that I kind of stood on, and one thing that I raised up, and it carried me through. And I think my faith in God, I know my faith in God is the number one thing that saved me, because there's no way. I don't know how anyone gets through a life crisis. I don't know how anyone gets through a death. I don't know how anyone gets through a disease without leaning on God and giving it all up to Him. I had no choice, and I'm thankful that I had no choice. So many things happened. A lot of my friends turned to God when I got sick. So I think that I know it was meant to be. I know that I know that I was picked to go through this, and I'm glad I was. I'm still trying to figure out where I fall in and where I fit in with what I'm supposed to do with my story, but I think telling it is definitely the first thing to do. If I was to talk to someone battling cancer, I would grab their hand and say, God saved me, and he can save you too. Pray. I prayed so much. Praying is therapeutic, and it's just as good as that chemo medicine that they put in your body to get rid of the cancer. But I think, just giving them hope and telling them if God brings you to it. One of my, to go to a quote, if God brings you to it, God will bring you through it. And just praying, taking things day to day, and believing that he does have a plan for you. I'm Kari Lucas, and I am Center Church.